Hey everyone, my name is Marie Stella and I'm here to talk about borderline personality disorder. This is my first ever YouTube video talking about the subject. I have just written and published a book about borderline personality disorder. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about how much I hate suffering from this disorder. I'm absolutely sick of it. I've suffered it since I was 12 years old. I was put into care because of it, because my parents just couldn't handle my explosive temper. I ended up on all sorts of drugs. I ended up in abusive relationships. I've suffered in emotionally every way possible. I've suffered with depression. I've had multiple suicide attempts when I was a teenager. And then when I was 21, I got pregnant. So I got off all the drugs I was on, I went on a methadone program, I reduced it all down, and I became this success story. Everyone said I should write a book about my experiences, about how I had come through all the stuff, but no one knew, including me, that I had borderline personality disorder, and that was the cause of all these behavioural problems and all this emotional suffering. I'm 39 now, and I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder last January. So that is like 26 years of suffering from a mental illness and not knowing what was wrong with me. So I got this diagnosis a year and a half ago, and I thought, yes, now I can get better, at least I can get better, I know what I'm fighting now. But with borderline personality disorder, you don't just get better overnight. It's not a case of, oh, now I'm aware of the problem, I can get over it. It is a horrible, hard, long road. I stopped taking drugs, I don't smoke cigarettes, I go to kickboxing classes nearly every single day, I write, I've started practicing mindfulness and dialectic behaviour therapy at home. I thought I was getting over borderline personality disorder, which is why I finally published my book. And then I nearly had a breakdown. The last few weeks have just been absolute hell because I've gone back into these horrible mood cycles where I'm just up and down and up and down. Anyway, what prompted me to actually post this video today was I've just been looking through my borderline personality groups on Facebook, because I'm involved in quite a lot of the groups. Sometimes I give support, sometimes I receive support. And someone's just posted in there about her partner and how she's trying to support her partner with a really bad day what he's having. But absolutely nothing what she does can make him better. If she's sympathetic, he tells her not to mollycoddle her. If she's trying to look after him, like offering him something to eat, he's like, just leave me alone, you're getting on my nerves, give me some space. She goes to leave the house, and he's like, how can you leave me? You know, how can you leave me when I'm like this? And I feel so sorry for this woman, because she could be describing me. This is exactly what I'm like. If I'm having a bad day, I can be crying my eyes out and think I want nothing more than a cuddle. But then when I get a cuddle, I then start to feel very angry and very annoyed, and my moods just yo-yo, they go all over the place. And then I get sick of it. I'm so sick of myself. I'm sick of having this disorder where my thoughts can just crash around my brain, making no sense whatsoever, but it's like my brain just focuses on all the negative things that have happened to me in the last few days. There could be 99 really great things that have happened to me and one bad thing, and my brain will just keep popping it up, like flashing it in front of my face all the time, and I cannot get away from it. And then from that, like, these volcanic moods occur, I can get really angry and really agitated. Normally after I've been really angry and agitated, I will just crash down and cry, and I can cry for hours, sometimes days. I will just be crying and not crying. And people seem to think because it's an emotional disorder that we should just be able to control ourselves. I can tell you now firsthand, I hate having this disorder, I hate it. There is no way in the world I would choose to be like this. I keep trying to help myself with therapies. I read this book on mindfulness and I try to practice the mindfulness exercises. I have a big, massive dialectic behaviour therapy skills workbook, which I can work from home. What I don't have is a therapist or any sort of professional to work with me on this. Where I live in Spain, I see a psychologist once a month. That's the maximum support I can receive. And we have a social worker now for me and my two daughters, because I kept arguing with the teachers at school and they referred me to the social services. It was quite embarrassing at the time, but it's the best thing they ever did, because they have agreed now that they're going to pay for me to have a private psychologist to work through the dialectic behaviour therapy skills with me. What I really wanted to say today was, if you have a loved one with borderline personality disorder, please don't tell them to just control themselves. Please don't think that what they do is to hurt you, or because they just don't want to get better. This disorder is one of the hardest ones to work with. Every private psychologist I've spoken to, when I've been trying to find my own psychologist, says that they don't want to work with people with borderline personality disorder because they don't see results straight away. It can take up to 2 years of proper therapy without taking, where you've had to stop drinking, you've had to stop taking drugs, where you're reducing your impulses. It can take 2 years to get better. This is what I've just been told recently, and it's devastating. On the one hand, I'm this articulate, bright woman. I live in Spain, which is a lot of UK people's, the British person's dream, to live in a sunny country like Spain. I have really good health. I have nothing wrong with me physically at all. I have 2 beautiful daughters. Like I said, I've written and published this book. I kickbox, I fight, I get up, I go to big events and fight in front of like hundreds and thousands of people. So you couldn't look at my life and say, well, she has a bad life. I did have a bad life when I was younger. When I was in children's homes, I was on all kinds of drugs, I suffered horrific substance abuse, I was in domestically violent relationships. My parents gave up on me when I was 12, they thought I was possessed by the devil. So I did have a lot of bad stuff going on then, which could explain my behaviour away. Nowadays I have none of that going on. I've received lots of counselling over the years for my difficult childhood. My problem is that I have borderline personality disorder, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up there because I don't even know whether I'm making a good video or not. I just really wanted to put it out there, how borderline personality can affect someone. In my future videos, I'm going to try and focus on one topic at a time, things that have affected me or things that I see affecting other people that I know with borderline personality disorder. And I'm going to post to help other people with this disorder know that they're not alone. And also to maybe help educate the loved ones of people with this disorder, so they know that the person that they love isn't behaving like this to upset them. And also, I'm not a totally recovered borderline. I'm high functioning, and I live a quite a stable life apart from these emotions. And I see various other people on YouTube posting about how they're recovered, which is great because they give people hope, they give people lots of inspiration. But sometimes people who are struggling need to see someone else who's struggling to see that it's real, if you know what I mean. So anyway, this is the beginning of my journey, and I hope that my journey can help you on your journey. Thanks for watching.